think there'll be not many dry eyes after this today. Soon we're going to be hearing from Gabriella Rodriguez, who'll be sort of zooming in from Florida on the screen. But before we do that, I'd like to invite Taylor Edelmann to the stage. He leads the National Harm Reduction Coalition and the Lighthouse Learning Collective. And Taylor's going to say a few words before we hear from his colleague. Thanks.
Wow, 2 mics. I've never had that before. Hola a todos. Hello, everyone. First, before I begin, I just want to shout out all of my trans folks, all of my sex workers. I love you so much. I don't think we hear enough from you, so especially our Black and brown and indigenous trans women who are not only an integral part of our movement, you have literally created and lit the path for all of us. So I thank you. So as Mina was saying, my name is Taylor Edelmann. I work with the National Harm Reduction Coalition based in the United States. I work in New York City. I'm here today to share the words of Gabriella Rodriguez, the executive director of Q Latinx. Gabriella unfortunately couldn't join us at this conference, but she's entrusted me to share her powerful message, which you'll hear in a moment. I'm very honored to deliver this to you all. You can learn more about their work by visiting qlatinx.org or following them on Facebook and Instagram at qlatinx. You know, everyone's got to get their plug, right? Please check them out. So Q Latinx is a grassroots, community-led, racial, social, and gender justice organization dedicated to the advancement and empowerment of Central Florida's LGBTQ Latinx community. The organization was founded in the wake of the Pulse tragedy in 2016. For those who may not be familiar, Pulse was an LGBTQ nightclub where 49 people were tragically killed and 68 others were injured. It remains one of the deadliest mass shootings by a single gunman and the deadliest incident of violence against the LGBTQ community in modern US history. Devastating. Before I read Gabriella's words, I would just like to take a moment to talk about this concept of resilience because I kind of think that's the theme that we're hearing, right? So resilience is something that has become expected of LGBTQI plus people, of us trans people in particular. Instead of this numb expectation, I think we need to envision a world where we demand the expectation that the world treats us with the dignity and respect we deserve. Everything we talk about with our principles of harm reduction. So with that, let's hear the audio from Gabriella. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Taylor, for the introduction. As he mentioned, my name is Gabriella Rodriguez. Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, I want to pardon my absence for not being there in person with you due to some unforeseen circumstances, but I'm truly happy that my voice and my words can still be carried. As we've spent the last couple days together and we're now coming to a close, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to each of you for your courage, your advocacy, and your radical commitment in building a world where people who use drugs are not merely tolerated, but are celebrated, protected, and loved. At Q Latinx, the small org that I lead, our mission has always been rooted in the belief that every person, regardless of their journey, their struggle, or their survival strategies, deserves access to true dignity, care, and community. Because we know that harm reduction isn't just a set of practices, but it's a declaration of humanity. It is a political and spiritual act of love, especially for those that have been pushed to the margins. And today I want to uplift the story of one of our own, Andres Acosta, a beautiful friend, colleague, advocate, and person whose path embodies the spirit of what we strive towards. And Andres's journey through harm reduction is not simply one of personal transformation. It is a reminder that when we invest in people, when we offer compassion instead of judgment, when we build spaces that honor lived experience rather than shaming it, healing becomes inevitable. Leadership becomes possible and liberation becomes contagious, even in our current social political climate. Andres has taught us that harm reduction is not just about saving lives. It's about restoring possibilities, restoring purpose, and reigniting hope. His journey inspires us to continue doing that deep but sometimes painful but always necessary work of community building rooted in unconditional support and revolutionary love. So as we leave this space today, I ask each of you to remember safer spaces don't just happen. We have to create them. With every act of care, every program we shape, every barrier we tear down, every stigma we challenge, we are co-creating a world where people can thrive, breathe, and lead. We owe it to all of the Andreses. We owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to everyone who has ever felt disposable to remind them that they are indispensable. Adelante, mi gente.
So we're about to come into a moment where we're going to have some fun and some lightness, and there's going to be some incredible films being shown. But I think the incredible words we've heard are this reminder again about what being in this community looks like, what it means to open up this community to others that are having very similar conversations and that are up against the same kind of opposition. A moment to reflect on just the level of violence some communities are experiencing and how we might approach that and how we might respond. I think it was it, I'm going to get it wrong, but someone said this idea of sort of the radical tenderness. And I think we know that the ingredients for resilience is that we show up with love for each other. You know, we really care for each other. We recognize that people are bringing grief to this space, and myself as well. Both my parents were injecting drug users, and my mum's just passed away as well. So I just want to bring her into the room and just take the space for that. But to also think that with all of this sort of connection and interdependence, if we don't have that, we don't have the resistance that we need. And without that, those guys that are taking that sort of their big phallus into the sky, they will win. They have sort of everything engineered and organised to win. But we are what the reaction looks like. We shouldn't sort of hide into the technical details, which sometimes we're sort of forced into, or let's just sort of present it like this so we're not going to be offending too many. We're way, way, way beyond that moment, and I think we can sort of really come out in a way that we've never really been free to do before, because we've sort of had the stranglehold of all of the conditionality that comes with the aid that we receive and that we program with. We expect that investment. We're not saying that governments get to walk away from what they're responsible for. But we also have a different set of circumstances, and we've probably not had that for as long as I think many of us in this room have been doing this for. We've not had that before. So I think that just brings this like incredible hope and potential, and that it's a moment to be much more proud of who we are, queerer than we've ever seen before. You can see all of the intersections coming into the discussion today, that we connect to the ancestral knowledge. And for anyone who has kids, I mean, mothering is, a completely radical act. So we think about how our kids join this movement as well. So yeah, I just wanted to add that piece, and some technology magic thing is going to happen, and there's this great group of people that many of you have met under the Drugreporter guys, and Peter and Isfan, they might be here now, but they have been working around the clock to somehow synthesize these voices into not many minutes. So we're going to bring those stories to you now, and then we're getting close to the end. Thank you.